first half hour of being in the Iron Man suit is like the coolest Halloween you ever had, except you're alone in the trailer before they call you on a set or whatever, or you're getting ready and you just catch a glimpse and you go, that's right, Grandma'd be proud. And then, because it's not really, it's designed for guys to wear, but I'm not a stuntman. And most of the stuntmen aren't doing, 65 scenes in the next 3 weeks. Most of them are young enough to not have a teenager at home. It was tough, and as we went further and further along, I realized like I could wear the suit all the time, but I can't wear the suit all the time and be an effective actor. I'm sorry, did that interrupt your flow?
I guess this is a draw.
The last couple weeks of shooting, I was like, you know what? I made it this far. I need to sleep. I want to eat pasta. I don't care if I'm puffy tomorrow. Don't put me in a t-shirt, kiss my ass. I did all that stuff because then the job is you drop the saddlebags and you charge out of Dodge City, because you want to get out without getting your ass bit by a rattlesnake.
Now it's time for both of us to go. That's the law of nature, Tony! Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, on to Las Vegas. That is a wrap. Thank you, everybody.
Here we are out in front of Caesar's Palace, the third movie I've done here. And we're exhausted. We're doing a death split, which means you start at midnight and go into the next day. We tried to turn around. Everybody stayed up as late as they could, gambling and partying last night, and tried to sleep all day. I, for one, was not able to sleep all day, and I have to act and direct today. So this could all go to hell in a handbasket on our last day of principal photography. But here we are. This is the big finish line. We always knew that if we got here, we'd be in good shape. So it's a bit of a celebration. It's going to be a fun scene. We're going to start outside, then go inside. And here he is, Tony Starks.
Tony Stark.
I was just saying, we don't need sleep. We got talent.
That's right.
Work it, work it, work it!
Winner!
I'm just so proud of everybody and satisfied and the whole deal. I mean, in my psyche right now, it's that thing of like someone was saying the last day of high school and, you kind of just can't wait to throw your hat up, but then you're like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? And I just remember last, October, November, and meeting John regarding this, and then screen testing, and then pre-production. To me, like most of us were burnt by the time pre-production was done because we prepped ourselves into a tizzy. And then there's starting in the first 2 weeks in the cave, and then going to Lone Pine, and then it was Air Force Base. I mean, it's the problematic thing of looking at a schedule or looking at what anyone looking at what their life is for the next 3 months. It's like, this can't be done.
Thank you, everybody. That is a wrap.
Every movie has its trials and tribulations. We did encounter a snowstorm in the middle of a desert in the cave scene, which was very odd. We did have sets that blew away and blew down, but it actually, the movie gods were with us most of the time. And while it was always daunting, it went fairly smoothly, which was great for our first production, very important for our first production.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jon Favreau, director of Iron Man.
That's a testament to John, to the crew that we put together, and for the cast, who were always game, who could always maneuver through whatever circumstances were thrown at them. And, we did. We came in on time and under budget.
Okay, so
Take a look at this.
Take
a look at this.
Take a look at this.
I know. I want you to go to SU 136. Where's the conference room?
That's looking good. And Dan extended it?
Yeah,
Yes,
you
I
extended
believe you
it,
did.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you did.
This just came in?
Oh, that's much
Yeah.
better.
It came in yesterday as a temp.
It's coming along nice. There's your little ribs moving.
All right.
Let's do that again.
Let's put up the expensive cropper.
There's those, that actually does help a lot, John, that little rib event. Yeah, we gotta rack down. I wanna see under the floor a little bit too, because that helps.
Well, they also added, what I
That.
like is the heels, you know, that we had on the Mark II as well.
Mm-hmm.
They added it here, which we didn't have in the other version, and that's very cool.
The thing I think that makes the biggest difference is they have the arm actually operating the screw.
Yeah, I think right
And
when.
that one too, there's one on the, right there.
Yeah, yeah.
As we go up, just take it a few frames forward. That thing's coming off of there. I almost want that to linger a little bit more so we see that. It's almost happening out of
The
frame.
gantry arm?
It is happening out of frame.
Yeah, I
So
would-
we should just delay that when that piece comes out. If we could delay that event, because it closes as soon as we're on it.
Yeah, it's because there's something right at the beginning. You want something sort of in the middle to go, so you just go, yeah, the party started. But it's definitely cool. It's definitely going in the right
It's
place.
much better, and that actually
Yeah.
helps a lot with those little flippies. All right, anything else to look at?
No,
Is that where we get out? I thought it was longer. Why is it trimmed so short?
well, yeah, it's on the step. It's on the step.
That looks like it's very short. I thought some of what was cool about it was that he
Yeah,
walks
the,
out.
Okay.
I am in the mocap suit in this. This is a shot we were trying to get the first reveal right. He moves a little
How's
too much
that?
like Happy Hogan.
so you have it in the cut there? You have the previous?
That's way short. So here's my question. Clearly we're going down a dead end road here because we're changing the performance on this thing. I like the camera angle, but now Dan's cutting out. I'm assuming going downstairs. I'm not gonna tell him, hey, get me one more half a step. That breaks the shot.
Well, should we try and get Dan here for a minute, and maybe at least he can tell us?
We can, but I know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say, why would I have him just go a half a step? It throws off the reveal. This is all about the reveal. So right now I'm cutting in the middle of a head turn, and the head turn's throwing off the reveal. So let's change that, and maybe that'll take some of the curse off of it. But we're now cutting even shorter the reveal, and the whole idea of this was to make it longer, which is why when we did the mocap performance, we looked at the full length of the plate
Right.
to see what we had.
Right.
And then after we did that, we found out that we couldn't get it.
Exactly.
Check it out. It's cool.
This stuff is looking freaking awesome.
It's amazing. Yeah. That's a temp too.
What?
It is a tab.
Really?
Can
Can we
Yeah.
final it?
So can we talk about,
Should I put a mullet in there?
you guys
What
like
happens
the
if we final it?
texture
'Cause
of, you like the texture of the gantry?
I love everything
oval?
about it.
Yeah, okay, good.
I love the animation too, all those pieces coming in.
Okay, that's SU-95, right?
SU-95.
Oh, I think I buy that more. I think it's got to clap. That's got to sort of clap more close. See how it's sliding?
It's gotta go.
It's got to slide in and then go kunk, kunk. Yeah. And I think there should be some sort of undergack to it too. It's just starting to imply.
Mhm.
I think it's gonna be good. Should there be backs to it or something so it doesn't just feel like a?
I gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
So it should be seamed around here.
Something that should be another sort of maybe like cranial element because it just feels very 2D with it just feels very. The whole thing is it's Iron Man. It should be.
Yeah, it should be tough, strong.
Do we want to have one spin or no spin at all?
I like to spin. Well, remember we were talking about him going out upside down?
Yeah.
That's what we had talked about. Like he was sort of coming out upside down and not spinning. The spin feels a little bit like when he in the dogfight pencil, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's what we had talked about.
Mhm.
So I feel like he's out of frame. I feel like it's a little too self-conscious of a move
Too
for
showy.
him. A little too showy.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
right. Where am I going now? Down to
Let's go down to the mix, and then hopefully we can sit with Dan and we can look at 6 and 7 ADR.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Been up here before?
No.
Your first time?
Yeah.
It is amazing. Have these posters. I'm happy. He says this one here.
Yeah. Bring that down.
This one there. There's a little tiny room. And here it is, the Akira Kurosawa Mexican stage. Let's see if he's in here.
I just want to make sure it's that where the
it's a
I like
power
the
pair.
jus, the actual RT sound itself.
Well, no, I was only bringing you in for that.
Let's see that one more time.
The RT we haven't really mixed yet.
Good.
Yeah.
Let me see again. I think it's good. So those sound like servos, right? So the layers I'm expecting that we'll get to now are going to be the winding up of the RT
Right,
also.
and also movement, you know, presence and sort of servo slash plasma sort of type of sound for him moving around
Good.
as well.
And because this is like when we're seeing the RTs being used against people too, it's the first time we're really showing it.
Right.
We might want to sweeten it with like, on top of the sound we have, we should have something in our pocket like a thunder crack or something to sort of bury in there, kind of like we did with the pig squeal and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Just to give it a little more pop if it's not, because it has to be a little more overwhelming than it is later.
Right.
It has to have its own like signature, holy shit, this guy, it's like the first time Dirty Harry fires the Magnum.
Right.
It's got to really be a special one. And don't worry about consistency, worry about impact.